Hello everyone, this is going to be my feedback related to the test subject verb agreement. So this test focuses on the agreement between subject and verb, whether the sentence uses singular or plural form in the specific tense. So here we go, check it out. 1. Septina and I, blah blah blah, baking sponge cakes at this time yesterday. So if you refer to the subjects are two people, Septina and I, and then if you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes they. So they is plural form. That's why the verb is also using the form of the plural. That is were. It's because the tense is past progressive in a very specific time yesterday. So Septina and I were baking sponge cakes at this time means at a certain time, not a long time, but it's only short time. So the activity of baking sponge baking cakes happened at a very specific time, and it was yesterday. 2 is the concept of the rule or the pattern of whether or. So whether blah 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 or, it's a kind of two choices or more, but here is in the sentence there are only two choices. So whether to buy or to rent. It's from the word whether to buy or to rent, but the sentence should apply the theory of parallelism. It's because the verb is the same in the present form, so you need to only put 1 to in a sentence. So whether to buy or rent a house, blah blah blah, an important financial question. So it's coming from the word whether to buy a house, full stop, whether to rent a house, full stop. So you combine into the sentence between two clauses, and the connective or the conjunction is or. So it's become whether to buy or rent a house is. So to buy, if you change into the subject pronoun, it become it, singular. So whether singular form or a singular form is an important financial question. The best answer is because whether or applies the theory of singular pattern. That's only one subject in a sentence. To buy a house or rent a house. So you choose between one among two. You choose one between two. That's it. 3. Blah blah blah, Tika or her co-workers sleep at work. The same as the second question, that the conjunction is or, means you choose only one subject, and the subject is Tika, which is singular. If you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes she or her co-workers. It's because singular or singular means the auxiliary verb is does. So if you change into the affirmative sentence, it's become Tika or her co-worker sleeps at work. Because the sentence is in the form of interrogative question, then you should put the auxiliary verb at front of the sentence, does. Physics, blah blah blah, been my favorite subject since I was 15 years old. So this is the example of present perfect. The subject is in the form of singular. So physics means ilmu fisika. That's the name of the knowledge. Yeah, it's a kind of like mathematics, also with an S. So S here doesn't indicate countable plural form, no, but it indicates ilmu. So physics is only one ilmu, one knowledge, that is physics. It doesn't mean fisika more than one, no. It's not in a plural form, but it's only the singular form physics. So physics is originally coming from one word, just like mathematics, and that's it. So if you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes it. Yeah, and then it is always followed by has, never have. So it has been my favorite subject since I was 15 years old, or physics has been my favorite subject since I was 15 years old. So many students were confused, and then they guess or they thought that physics is the plural countable noun from the singular form physics, but then actually physics is the singular form coming from originally one sentence, means ilmu fisika. So you need to be careful. We go on number 5. Mumps usually blah 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 through saliva. So mumps is a kind of disease or virus. It is the plural form from mum. So it belongs to countable noun. If it is countable noun, then you can put s at the end of the letter to indicate that the noun is in the plural form. So mumps is a plural form. If you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes they. Usually, it's because this is a present form or present tense, so you cannot put s for the verb. So the best answer is mumps usually spread through saliva. 6. My shears blah 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 sharp enough. So shears is a big seizure, and because there is an s at the end of the letter means it indicates the plural form of countable noun. So shear is countable noun, and then if you put s at the end of the letter means the noun is more than one. So it's a plural. My shears. If you change into the subject, it becomes they blah 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 sharp enough. It's because there is no verb in the sentence. It is nominal sentence, however, in a present form. So you need to put an auxiliary or helping verb, and that is are not. My shears are not sharp enough. If you analyze in the context, means that that tool is not sharp enough to cut, to be used. So the best answer is are not in the negative form. 7. 80% of his furniture blah 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 old. So if we belong to like money and then average the total number, it's always in a singular. That's the rule in this English structure. So when you refer to the time, for example, or the number or the total number in the form of the percentage, it indicates singular. So every percentage is considered a singular noun. 80% of uncountable noun, his furniture, is old. So if you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes it is old. What does it refer to? It refers to the 80% of the furniture. That's it. Number 8 is quite simple. There are blah 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 many ways to say thank you. So it belongs to the countable noun in the forms of the plural ways, many ways. Yeah, the singular one is a way, but this is many ways. So it refers to the plural countable noun, and then you should put are. There are many ways, not there is. If you want to use there is, it should be there is a way to say thank you. But this question or this sentence belongs to plural, so the best answer is there are many ways to say thank you. Number 9 is just like last previous topic, it's about the rule or the structure of one of plural form, singular form of plural form. So one of her cats, one of their books, one of their houses, one of their cars. It's because the subject indicates only one means singular. Yeah, so if you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes it. It does not look good. Not it do not. It's always followed by does. So it does not look good. One of her cats does not look good. In the form of negative sense or negative meaning, a negative sentence is because the meaning is in a negative sense. Does not look good. That's it. Number 10 is quite tricky. Most of the students answer wrong. Probably it's because there is a confusing supporting sentence along with his two assistants. So if you remember my last explanation or my previous explanation, if there is a subject and then followed by a supporting sentence in between the comma and the comma, actually the middle of the sentence in the middle or the supporting sentence is just the function is just to support the sentence, but you do not have to pay attention. You don't have to consider it as the subject. You should not take it into account. So actually the original sentence is the central office manager has left the room, and that's all. The sentence or the phrase between comma and comma is only additional meaning. So actually the original sentence is the central office manager. So how many manager? There's only one. Manager without S. So manager belongs to countable noun. If you want to make it plural, you should put S at the end of the letter. But in the question, there is no S in the word. Means that the subject is in a singular. So the central office manager, how many manager? Only one. If you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes she or he. You choose one of them. The central office manager has. She has left. Or he has left. So the sentence applies present perfect in active form or active sentence. So if you analyze from the meaning that only one person has left the room, and then if you are questioning, so what's the purpose of the additional phrase? The purpose of the additional phrase is only to give additional information about the subject, but it will not influence on how many subjects are in the sentence. So, si manager itu, manager yang mana sih? Yang itu loh, yang lagi sama dua asistennya. So that's only to give explanation, sebagai penjelas saja. Telah meninggalkan ruangan. Tapi siapa yang meninggalkan ruangan? The central office manager. That's only one. Apakah bersama dengan dua asistennya? No. We don't know because tidak disebutkan di dalam kalimat ini. Jadi hanya sebagai penjelas. I will give you another example. If you point out someone who's standing over there, that old woman who is beside the child, gitu. Misalkan ada orang berdiri di seberang jalan. Orang tua yang sedang berdiri itu, yang mana sih? Karena orang tua yang sedang berdiri ada banyak. Yang berdirinya di sebelah anak kecil. So di sebelah anak kecil has a function as to give additional information, tapi tidak perlu dijadikan acuan untuk menganalisis subjek. Subjeknya siapa? Apakah si anak kecil itu? Tidak. Subjeknya tetap orang tua yang sedang berdiri. So that's the only one subject is the old woman who is standing over there. Yang mana sih? Yang beside the kid, misalkan. Tapi tetap main atau head of the subjectnya tetap the old women. How many women? Only one who is standing. Just like this sentence, the central office manager is only one. Along with his two assistants is only to give an additional information. So if you find later on again, in one sentence consists of additional information in between comma and comma, you just ignore it. Just to give an additional meaning. But you don't need to consider this to analyze the sentence, especially for the structure. 11. How blah 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 the relatives taking the good news? This is quite simple. Please go directly into the noun. The noun belongs to countable noun. If there is an S at the end of the letter, means it is plural, more than one relative. So it should be how are the relatives taking the good news. So suppose that you are as the person asking this question, no, Exactly. It's because you choose the word relatives, more than one, means you are sure that there are more than one. So the question should be, how are the relatives taking the good news? 12 has the same structure or the pattern as like a part of blah blah blah. So a part is only one. How many parts? One. Only one. A part means singular. If you change into the subject, it becomes it. Yeah, only one subject. Of is the pattern of, yeah, there is a singular of and then plural. The fish cakes is plural. But the emphasizing of this sentence is only on that part. Bagiannya. It's not all of the fish cakes, but it's only a part. Jadi ada berapa bagian? Only one. A part. Not parts of, but a part. So if you change in the subject, it becomes it. So it's because it, maka gandengannya adalah has. It has been eaten by my cat. Not it have been, but it has been. So the tense is in the form of the passive past progressive. 13. Somebody is a singular. Somebody is considered a singular subject, just like someone and then no one, that's it. So if you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes she or he, but there's only one. You choose one of them. Because there is a present tense, so the verb should be added by s. It's because the subject is he or she. So somebody wants, he wants to speak, or she wants to speak to you about the lesson. 14. Mine is the one which blah blah blah, a sticker on a tank. It's definitely clear that the subject is mine. Mine means my own. There's only one thing I have that is my own. Benda yang saya miliki itu hanya satu, mine. Is the one which is. It's because it's singular. So if you change into the subject, it becomes it. Subject pronoun it. It is the one which has. Ya, karena singular. Kalau plural jadinya they are the one which have. Gitu. Tapi karena ini singular jadi which has. 15, we go directly into the form of the two big Japanese motorcycles. So how many motorcycles are in the parking area? There are two big Japanese motorcycles. Motorcycle belongs to noun, which is countable. If you put s at the letter and the end of the letter means the word belongs to countable, and then plural form. So if it is plural form, you should put are after there, not there is. But there are two big Japanese motorcycles. If you change into the singular form, it becomes there is a big Japanese motorcycle without s in the parking area. Or if you change into the plural, becomes there are two big Japanese motorcycles in the parking area. 16. People who blah 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 next door asked me to go together. So it's definitely clear that the subject is people means plural form of person. If you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes they, who. It's because it is plural. So the verb in a present form should be live without s. But if the subject is in singular, he or she, then the verb is added by s or es. So the best answer is people who live next door asked me to go together. Number 17 is quite simple. It applies or it uses the theory of present form, present tense in the form of past participle for the verb. I mean, it belongs to stative passive, the theory of stative passive. So recently the work is done. It's a simple in a present form, passive form. It's because the subject is only one, the work, singular. If you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes it. So recently it is done, not recently it are done. So the best answer is A. But then if the subject is plural, more than one work, the works is because it is countable noun, so you put s you should put s at the end of the letter to indicate that the work is more than one or plural, the works. If you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes they. So they are done. But the question is in the singular form, only one word. So the best answer is the work is done. Number 18 applies the structure of either or, either blah 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 or blah blah blah. If you find the pattern of either or, please only pay attention and recognize and consider the last subject after or. And that's it. You should take it into account. Other than that, like the previous or the subject at front, please just ignore because it does not and will not influence the tense of the structure in a sentence. So when you find the structure either or, please only pay attention on the last subject after conjunction or. Number 18 is either my mother or I. It's because the subject is I. Then it should be am going, not I are going or I is going. So either my mother or I am going to the salon. Why it's only one? It's because it indicates the choice between the two. So you choose one between the two. You choose only my mother or you choose only me. It's because there are two subjects. But in the structure or in the pattern of English, the formula of either or is only considered as the one to be taken into account. That is the last subject after or. We go on number 19. Nobody, just like no one, means only one person to be pointed. So it indicates singular subject. Nobody, no one. If you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes he or she only. Yeah? So it's because the tense is in the present verb, so you should put s to indicate that it belongs to the singular subject. So the best answer is nobody knows how to do this work. 20. Both you and I, good in English. So it's definitely clear that the subject is more than one. Both is indicates two people. Who are them? You and I. So if you change into the subject, it becomes we are good in English. Not we am good in English. So if you find the structure of both, you should consider the two subjects at the same time as the same as important as all together. But if you find the pattern of either or, you need to consider or to choose one between two. But it's because it is both means in a discourse meaning, the meaning is that the two all together. So you should consider all of the subjects at the same time together. And the subjects here are you and I. So both you and I are good in English. Number 21. Each book in library, interesting to read. So the subject is only one. It indicates singular. Each means one. Individually. Every. So each book means one book individually or every book in library. If you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes it. So it in library is interesting to read. Each book in library is interesting to read. If you change the subject into the plural form, books in library are interesting to read. So the two senses are different. 22. My family, blah blah blah, long holiday. My family indicates a singular pronoun. So how many family you have? Only one. That's my family. If you change into the subject, it becomes it. So it has or it have? It has. It has a long holiday. My family has a long holiday. If you want to make it into the plural form, you should change family into the families by adding EAS at the end of the letter. Means you have more than one family. My families have a long holiday. But the question is only one. My family. So the best answer is my family has a long holiday. We go on number 23. $5, blah blah blah, too much to pay for this dinner. The best answer is $5 is too much to pay for this dinner. If you pay attention to my previous explanation on the previous number beforehand, that time and then money, it's always considered as uncountable noun. Yeah? It is supported by the statement or the phrase of too much here. Much means or indicates uncountable noun. So if it is uncountable noun, no matter what, you should change the subject into it. And then that's the only the way, it. Though the dollar here, there is an S at the end of the letter, but dollars doesn't indicate that it has more than $1, no, but it's just like currency in general. So it's just generally speaking, $5 indicates money. So $5, you change the subject pronoun, it becomes it. It is too much to pay for this dinner. What is that? $5 is too much to pay for this dinner. Many students are confused. They thought that $5 in the form of plural is because there is an S at the end of the dollar, at the end of the letter. So they think or they thought that the subject is in the form of the plural form. So they choose they are too much to pay for this dinner. But you should pay attention that again, money and clock or time, it is always considered as singular. Here we go, number 24. Everybody, just like somebody, someone, every person, every student. So it indicates one, that's only singular. If you change into the subject pronoun, it becomes she or he only. Choose one of them. So everybody has or everybody have. The best answer is everybody who has a fever must go to the hospital. And this is going to be the last number of the question, number 25. Some people, it's absolutely clear that people is the plural form from the person, means that more than one person. People is countable plural form, irregular countable plural form. So some people are here to help me. That's the answer. That is the explanation. So when you find the question in the form of the subject-verb agreement in the TOEFL test of the structure, especially, you should first consider whether the type of the sentence is in the form of singular or plural. And then you should also consider what kind of tense the sentence used, and also whether the noun belongs to countable or uncountable nouns. If it is countable, it belongs to plural. If it is countable noun, it belongs to regular or irregular countable nouns, because not every countable noun can be added by S at the end of the letter. Just like person becomes people. Though some British mention persons as the plural form of people, of person, but then people is quite more general. Or a book become books. There is a countable regular. But then person become people is irregular countable noun. So you need to consider and understand and master that theory. Thank you for listening.